Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new Reveal webinar. My name is Tony Cueva Bravo. I'm the head of business development and strategy at Reveal. And today we're going to discuss about unlocking Mexico and why US businesses need a SPEI. So in this 30-minute webinar, we will align why US businesses should integrate SPEI to effectively tap into Mexico's growing market. And we're going to learn how these payment methods have streamlined transactions and expand your reach as your business. So before enter to the main topic, there's a legal notice for this webinar. This webinar is provided for informational and educational purposes only and should not be constructed as specific legal, financial, or professional advice. While we strive to present accurate and up-to-date information, we don't guarantee its applicability and accuracy related to your individual situation or specific company circumstances. Without further ado, let's start presenting Reveal. So if this is your first time in our webinars, Reveal is a cross-border payments and subscription platform for global companies in Latin America. So we offer more than 100 payment methods, from cards to alternative payment methods such as digital wallets, bank transfer, and cash in 10 countries in the region. So we help US companies process local payments, convert those funds processed into USD, and send them to their corporate bank account. So initially, our value proposition, why we are really good, is in these three main points that you can see on our slides. So we are really transparent. Our culture is always about transparency. So you're gonna get a transparent pricing and transparent costs of every single transaction that you're gonna do in Reveal. So there's no hidden costs or fees, no minimum fees. So you're gonna know exactly how much we're gonna charge you. Also, we are really advocate about human customer support. We think that you need to have a human answer your questions and your doubts and solve your problems. So we don't use any bots or automated support to actually accomplish that. And finally, we have a really swift integration. What we actually matter to do is that for us, it's really important to the time to market. So in these cases, we want to accelerate your launch with our user-friendly API and SDK designed for this rapid deployment. And we also backed by tier one venture capitalists like Tire Global, Y Combinator, Soma Capital, SB Angel, Magma Partners, and Rally Cap. So what is a SPEI actually? So the Sistema de Pagos Electrónicos Interbancarios, which is a SPEI short, or Interbank Electronic Payment System in English, is a real-time electronic payment system developed by the Mexico Central Bank, Banxico, in 2024. Sorry, 2004. And it enables instant secure fund transfers between bank accounts across Mexico, and is accessible 24/7. And SPEI is used for a wide range of transactions, from routine bill payments to one-off purchases. So it is the rapid processing and robust security features, make it a preferred financial tool for individuals and businesses alike. And as it works across all banking and financial institutions, it's super relevant for any company to adopt SPEI. But what are the clear facts about this? And before going to that direction, it is really important to make a comparison so our US counterparts understand what we're talking about. So the Fed now is a well-known protocol, real-time protocol, that has incorporated since last year. And they actually is something that the government has promote about bank transfer payments and instant bank transfer payments And which is really interesting is that this protocol has some sort of like limitations that are not fully adopted for all the bank and financial institutions. So the adoption has been really small for the past year, even though it's not. It's a better service for all the U.S. market. And if we compare that to Venmo Cell, like they were not eventually the best, the first one to incorporate this sort of like real time payment. Venmo has been around for many years as well as Cell, and they have better features. However, there's a limitation from the payment transactions and transaction size. So they're actually relevant for just small purchases, which is not convenient when you want to incorporate something that is universal. So SPEI in this case is a protocol that actually is similar to FedNow, but it has no limit transaction size. It has a push and pull like operation, and it costs really way less than it costs FedNow right now. So that's why it's super convenient, and that's why a lot of US companies are adopting this type of protocol in Mexico. But what are the facts? So the facts here about SPEI is that SPEI is used by 6 out of 10 people in Mexico, facilitated over 13.7 billion digital transactions since launched in 2004. And it is super relevant because the payment volume has increased dramatically in the past few years, especially in 2023 alone. They witnessed a lot of transactions, which is 3.8 billion transactions value at 31 billion USDs. So it's been an enormous success, and that's why it's so relevant in the market right now, as it has increased a lot of reach and transferability between individuals, but also between businesses. And also the introduction of new product capabilities has been announced for SPEI. So SPEI is the main rails, the payment infrastructure. However, on top of that, they have the Banxico, which is the Mexico Central Bank, has launched CODI, which is short for Cobro Digital, and DIMO, Digital Mobile Payments, that enhance space by adding QR codes, scanning, NFC-enabled payments, and the ability to pay using just your cell phone number, which is something super rich because most of the time um, in Mexico, bank accounts are not actually super prominent in the market. Actually, 68% of Mexico's population is underbanked or unbanked. So that's why the reason why paying with your cell phone number is so super relevant. And Demo in this first year, because CODI has been launched in 2019 and Demo has been launched recently last year, they projected that Demo is going to be a way successful feature within SPEI that is going to be enable at least 5 times more volume from CODI and 5 times more transactions. And I think that the enrollment will be around 5 million active users within their first year, which is a completely successful launch. Also, SPEI is relevant in e-commerce. SPEI claimed 3% of the Mexico's e-commerce volume in 2023, approximately 2.2 billion, which is super relevant because most of the time, as I mentioned before, the Mexican population, they might not have credit cards, they might not use debit, they prefer to do it with doing this bank transfers, and enable that feature within your checkout is actually give you more revenue and more opportunities. But how do you pay with SPEI? So what is so relevant about this payment method that actually you want to include it on your checkout? So basically, it's super simple. It's super straightforward. You choose SPEI at the checkout and copy the clave code from the voucher. So you're on the checkout, you click a SPEI as a payment method, and then it will generate a voucher. So that voucher, you're gonna have many numbers, but one that is relevant is the one that says clave, CLAVE. So that code, which is around 14 digits, you're gonna describe, you're gonna copy that code, open your mobile bank account to pay with SPEI, and then paste that clave code into your mobile banking account to confirm the payment and make the payment validated. So it's super straightforward, and actually a lot of people are adopting this because it's super simple and you don't need to use cash or you don't need to use a credit card number. So why should US businesses adopt SPEIs? First and foremost, SPEI is free for consumers, but merchants are charged very low fees compared to debit cards and credit cards, right? And this is super beneficial because you don't want to spend a high percentage on this type of fees, and actually you want to get your money more, your net money, without paying too much fees on the transaction. There's also transaction size flexibility, so there's no upper limit on transaction size in the SPEI. And this approach actually offers the system like flexibility to serve a diverse range of users, which typically have different transaction requirements, right? So they use SPEI not only for people to business payments, like which is really common in the e-commerce, or digital services, right? But also is really common in B2B payments, right? Because in between businesses, they want to charge via bank account, and is super relevant when the size is larger than sometimes e-commerce transaction size, correct? So also we have a real-time payment confirmation. So SPEI ensures that the funds are available almost immediately, facilitating like a better cash flow for confirming transaction completion to all parties, right? And the settlement they do like in 3 seconds. Sometimes it takes a little while, but it's almost instantly. So that's really good news for US businesses. And then since payments are made directly from the user's smartphone, SPEI reduce the risk of fraud or protect sensitive financial information, right? You don't know more than just the code, the 14-digit code, and that's really convenient. And of course, if you use DEVO, you use the cell phone number, which is better as well. So who is adopting? Which US companies are accepting SPEI? So Amazon and Spotify are accepting SPEI for their Mexican version e-commerce, right? They saw the size opportunity, and they understood that Mexico works this way. And even though they also adapted, and this is a shout out to our previous webinar called OxoPay. So even though they adopt like OxoPay for cash based payments, they also need to incorporate a SPEI payment method because it's super relevant for businesses to transact like that. And sometimes instead of using OxoPay and you get to a convenience store, you actually use your bank account or your mobile bank account to do the payments. So it's much easier that way. And then Hostinger, which is a hosting service, they also accept SPEI for the subscription payment with a prepaid account, and also they accept OxoPay at the same time. So it is super relevant that those two payment methods are together. So how it works? So SPEI payings will reveal, and reveal, as I mentioned before, we have one connection to only you need one connection to 100 payment methods, and one of that 100 payment methods is the SPEI. So pretty much when you are consumers order anything online, merchants will use reveal to show SPEI at the checkout, right? So the consumers, they're going to use their mobile app, their financial institution to copy the clave code and to confirm the purchase. So in that way, which is beneficial for you guys, for the US businesses, if you have a quick settlement, the optimization, like you got a confirmation of your payment really quickly, which is super important, and then you're gonna receive um, in an optimal situation in 7 days or 15 days, depending on the size of the transaction, your money in your rebill account, and which is also relevant to talk about, like how easy and convenient is to get your money on time. And the second benefit is actually in terms of like high payment acceptance rate, right? So most of the time, when you don't have, like when credit cards are failing, the using an alternative payment method like SPEI is super convenient because you don't mess up with the clave code, right? Or the mobile number. So it's super convenient because you just copy and paste the code and then you just paste it on your mobile app. So the opportunity to fail the payment is really relevant to zero because unless you don't have funds, then the process the operation really immediately. And also, it's super convenient as well because you have a low risk of chargebacks. As you are copying the clave code, making the payment on your mobile banking app, then definitely the confirmation of the transaction is made by you and only you. So it's not the opportunity of risking information or disputing that transaction was not made by you is very little and significant, to be honest. And also, we work the other way around, right? Like if merchants want not only to receive payments but to send payments to a third party in Mexico, it is possible with Reveal. So Reveal use SPEI to send massive payouts all at once. And how it works eventually, so it works like this, you know, like you send. We have a convenient code to send all the payments all at once, and that's gonna be up to I think 300 payments, and we just need the clave code for all these SPEI transactions, and then we facilitate those transactions really quickly. The funds are accredited immediately, depending on the time zone and you know the banking timing that is being performed, the wire transfer. And what is relevant for this and for your clients that you're going to send the money is that they have a localized experience. You know, they receive Mexican pesos in the Spain, so they know that actually is super convenient, and they don't need to do anything else. They just need to wait to receive the transactions. And and actually, just to finalize on that note, we have a SPEI available right now. So our SPEI solution is ready for you. As you can see, this is a test that we did, I think, a couple of days ago, and you can see the clave code and some other concepts, some other digits that are important to the transaction. But generally, the clave code is super. That's the only thing that you need. You don't need a local entity. You can use your use entity to start process payments with SPEI in Mexico. And you can do that by connecting SPEI via checkout or API. And that's it. You can start now by creating a Reveal account. You sign up now at my.reveal.com/sign up. And using this URL, you will be finding an onboarding process where you can actually give it a try in our sandbox environment and see how can you perform like test payments, and you create your own voucher as the one that I showing you right now in the screen, and eventually you are ready to go. Whenever you're ready to actually start process payments with Reveal, you just go to our KYB form, and where you add all the relevant information about your US entity, and we provide a quick quick accounts to start doing it. We have a timeline, and we want to process really fast. If we don't have any observations or any doubts about your documentation, we usually have 72 hours to start opening accounts in Mexico or in other relevant countries. Sometimes it takes more because the acquirer reminds more information, but I think we have a swift integration, which is what it matters to you, to all of you, and is super relevant as we are talking about. SPEI is one of the go-to payment solutions in Mexico, and this will open revenue opportunities for your business there. And if you have any questions, you can send me an email or find me on social media by my name, Tony. And really, thank you everyone who attended to this webinar. Hopefully, it was really insightful, and you can start process payment with Reveal. Any notes or any further communication, please send me an email or find me on social media. And thank you so much for your time, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.